Wagwan people, Wagwan, where I said. Been a while since I've been on here. I've been very, 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 very busy. But there was a video that came out with um, an military. It was a military personnel that was pulled over by police agents, and basically there was no form of communication, and the individual was sprayed with mace. And I wanted to come on here basically. There's something that nobody's talking about, and that's the UCC. And I think that a lot of people need to know what the UCC is, one, and the Ucc One form financial statement, because we're under we're under commercial law, right? And basically, there's people in uniform, and it's called the Uniform Commercial Code, right? Now, Uniform Commercial Code, we want to know what is the Uniform Commercial Code? What is it? Now, the thing is that uniform, right? We can see that everybody who is in government is basically in uniform, right? Commercial, Maritime Admiralty Military Tribunal. They like to say that they follow under the common law. I was talking to a lawyer the other day, and he says, "Oh, they follow common law." I said, "No, common law is basically the law of the land, and commerce law is the law of the ocean." And he couldn't say nothing, right? He said, "Yeah, basically." Now the thing is that they say that they get all their laws from the Magna Carta. Well, the Magna Carta is from over there. So the thing is that there is no real. There's still foreign agents anchored at the dry dock, right? Now, I wanted to ask the question: what is the UCC, right? The UCC is a financial statement that basically states that a creditor is owed by a debtor, and the debtor is what, it's like a public, basically it's like a public record to their ledger stating that someone owes you money, right, or currency. Now the thing is that I always like to say that, well, I don't always like to say it, but there's a saying that says time is money, right? And whenever your time, you have to understand, is that you give up time to any individual for a bill of exchange, right? If I go to work, I'm basically offering my time. I'm not offering my skills or my services or anything. I'm offering my time, because skills and services, anyone can have skills and services, right? But I'm offering my time to an individual who's going to pay me for my time, because closer every single day that comes, I'm closer and closer to the grave, right? So I am offering my time, okay? I'm going to make it pretty short, but the UCC one is like a public record. And say if, this is just going off the top of the head, but say if I get pulled over by someone who's a police agent, I don't call them officer because they're not elected to office. Only a sheriff can be elected to office, okay? So I get pulled over by these police agents who are foreign agents anchored at dry dock, providing a service on the peaceful inhabitants of this land. Now, The thing is that this was labeled in Civil Order July 4th, 2014, and we'll be going over that another time. But I want to focus just on the UCC one. Okay, UCC one financial statement. What is the UCC one commercial code? Right? Oh, privacy warning. Wow. I'm not allowed to see what the UCC one financial statement is. Wow. But I suggest you all look it up. Okay. Let's go find something else. Let's see if there is something else. Ooh, YouTube. What's it say? YouTube privacy warning. Oh, I'm not allowed to see this? What the this is some bullshit. Okay. Forget you. Let's go here. Okay, let's see. What? What is the UCC? Okay, let's see. Uniform Commercial Code. What is it? What is the UCC?
Uniform Commercial Code, published by Wikipedia. The Uniform Commercial Code, first published in 1952, is one of a number of uniform acts that have been established as law with the goal of harmonizing the laws of sales and other commercial transactions across the United States through UCC adoption by all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and the territories of the United States.
Wagwan, Joel Weyase. Respect.
States. While largely successful at achieving this ambitious goal, some U.S. jurisdictions have not adopted all of the articles contained in the UCC, while other U.S. jurisdictions have not adopted any articles in the UCC. Also, adoption of the UCC often varies from one U.S. jurisdiction to another. Sometimes this variation is due to alternative language found in the official UCC itself. At other times, adoption of revisions to the official UCC contributes to further variation. Additionally, some jurisdictions deviate from the official UCC by tailoring the language to meet their unique needs and preferences. Lastly, even identical language adopted by any two U.S. jurisdictions may nonetheless be subject to different statutory interpretations by each jurisdiction's courts. Goals. The goal of harmonizing state law is important because of the prevalence of commercial transactions that extend beyond one state.
Okay, so the thing is that, let's just say, they see, the thing is that they implemented all of this stuff in the 50s, right? And let's see, Wagwan Charles, Weyase, what is it? Bronze, Wagwan, Weyase. The thing is, okay, I'm talking basically about the UCC. Why I'm saying this is that it's kind of like a strategy. These people are in uniform. These people are conducting commerce, and there's a code. We don't have the deciphering code because basically every single code needs a codex, don't you think? It's like a cipher or something to basically decipher that code. Since it is in code, it's not in plain speech. Now, from what I've seen of the military personnel being treated like a second-class citizen, it brought up, something popped into my mind. This individual needs to sign and write up a UCC on the two police agents that basically violated his rights and go under, what is it? Subsection, was it, let's see, UCC, I think, let me see. Title 18, subsection 242. I think that's it. Now, This one is, let's see which one it is. Okay, nope, that's not it. No, 214, 2442. Okay, so let's see what Title 18, subsection 242 is, right?
18 U.S. Code Section 242 Deprivation of Rights Under Color of Law. Published by Legal Information Institute, Cornell University.
Cornell.
U.S. Code. Previous. Next. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties, on account of such person being an alien, or by reason of his color, or race, than are prescribed for the punishment of citizens, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year, or both. And if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title, or imprisoned for any term of years or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. June 25, 1948, ch. 645, 62 stat. 696, pub. L. 90 to 284, Title I, Section 103, B. April 11, 1968, 82 stat. 75, pub. L. 100 to 690, Title VII, Section 7019, November 18, 1988, 102 stat. 4396, pub. L. 103 to 322, Title V, Section 60006, B. Title 32, Sections 320,103, B. 320,201, B. Title 33, Section 330,016, 1, H. September 13, 1994, 108 stat. 1970, 2109, 2113, 2147, pub. L. 104 to 294, Title V, Section 604, B, 14, B, 607, October 11, 1996, 110 stat. 3507, 3511.
Now, the thing is, reason why I let it play out on the end is so that those are the references that you can get this information, because a lot of people like to say, oh, that doesn't apply to us and all this kind of stuff and this and this and that. And it's all bullshit and lies. This country, since 1954, has been ran under the Uniform Commercial Code. Why? Because there was a lot of corruption. But the thing is, they don't tell you that, because they were corrupted in the first place when the Uniform Commercial Code came in, right? And there is also other ones that you can look up, but I suggest everybody start getting familiarized with the Uniform Commercial Code, because there is a Ucc One. You can look it up right now. Ucc One Financial Statement. Once you fill that out, that goes to the public record, letting everybody know that this individual or this organization or corporation owes you fiat currency or money. Okay, currency, because there is no money. Money is gold and silver, and according to 1933, this organization has been committing treason against the Constitution of the United States, because gold and silver is the only lawful money. That's it. There's nothing else to talk about. And now they've basically brought in digital currency. They signed Executive Order 748 under the CARES Act. You can look it up for yourself and you can read that. CARES Act 748. They're phasing out cash and they're bringing in digital currency and digital identity, ID. I went on a site that I wanted to do something on, and I was given, what do you call it? The option was, would you like Google or Facebook? Which one do you choose to be your identity provider? I didn't give any permission to Google or Facebook to be my identity provider, but they obviously have more information on me than, through transacting with them. It's convenient, yes, but I like to, I'm the type of person that likes to fill out stuff and write stuff down and try to have a memory towards it, because it's just going to be like a cell phone. If they have your identity, then what is the point of my identity, or me having my own identity? Because according to Facebook and Google, they've been hacked multiple times. Our information has been sold to foreign governments. We don't know how many people, I really don't know how many people here in this country or in any other country is walking around with my name, right? I have a friend of mine who basically decided that she was going to check out her name, and she knew that back in the day, her name was very rare, right? So she was very proud of that. And now when she checks out her name is all over the place. There's a whole shitload of so-and-so going by that name. So information has been taken, your identity has been stolen. These companies basically sold it off, and now they want to be your service provider for your identity. The other one I like to also read is Title 18, subsection 1001. Now, let's see what that one is. That one there is statements of entries generally. Let's see what that one says. What does that say?
18 U.S. Code Section 1001, statements or entries generally. Published by Legal Information Institute, Cornell University.
Cornell
U.S.
again.
Code. Previous. Next. A. Except as otherwise provided in this section, whoever, in any matter within the jurisdiction of the executive, legislative, or judicial branch of the government of the United States, knowingly and willfully falsifies, conceals, or covers up by any trick, scheme, or device a material fact, makes any materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or representation, or makes or uses any false writing or document knowing the same to contain any materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or entry, shall be fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 5 years, or, if the offense involves international or domestic terrorism.
International or domestic terrorism. Now, doesn't it seem like we're getting like bullied and picked on by these people in uniform, since they're conducting commerce, and they've been acting like terrorists? Seems like this is fitting.
As defined in Section 2331, imprisoned not more than 8 years, or both, if the matter relates to an offense under Chapter 109A, 109B, 110, or 117, or Section 1591, then the term of imprisonment imposed under this section shall be not more than 8 years. Subsection A does not apply to a party to a judicial proceeding, or that parties counsel, for statements, representations, writings or documents submitted by such party or counsel to a judge or magistrate in that proceeding. C. With respect to any matter within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch, subsection A shall apply only to administrative matters, including a claim for payment, a matter related to the procurement of property or services, personnel or employment practices.
That means if they're trying to procure your property, what's your property? You are your property. Always remember, it's all about claims and property. Okay? When they come towards you, they are acting as highwaymen. If there is no crime, the definition of a crime is something that is, what do you call it? One, the destruction of property, the violation of individuals, and financial loss. That means if you robbed the bank or stole something, right? So if you didn't like destroy any property, if you didn't violate anyone or trespass against anyone, or you did not rob a bank or steal anything, right, then there's no crime being committed. If you're just being pulled over for a traffic in violation, then these would apply because they're now overstepping their jurisdictional boundaries.
And practices, or support services, or a document required by law, rule, or regulation to be submitted to the Congress or any office or officer within the legislative branch, or any investigation or review, conducted pursuant to the authority of any committee, subcommittee, commission or office of the Congress, consistent with applicable rules of the House or Senate. June 25, 1948, ch. 645, 62 Stat. 749, Pub. L. 103 to 322, Title 33, Section 330,016, 1. L. September 13, 1994, 108 Stat. 2147, Pub. L. 104 to 292, Section 2, October 11, 1996, 110 Stat. 3459, Pub. L. 108 to 458, Title V, Section 6703, December 17, 2004, 118 Stat. 3766, Pub. L. 109 to 248, Title I, Section 141, C. July 27, 2006, 120 Stat. 603. 18 U.S. Code
Now,
Section.
the thing is, the thing about it is, it's funny because when I start looking up what is a UCC one, right? Let me just check. See if I can get it again, because when it came to the, what do you call it? When it came to YouTube, a lot of people. Okay, when I first saw it was like a documentary on robotics, right? Just wanted to say Wagwan, Pikachu, Big Dog, Philly OG, Wagwan, what's up? The thing is when I was watching something on robotics. Now, this was, what is it? Something Dynamics. It was a organization that basically was bringing in like designing robots or something like that, right? And all these algorithms now, we basically use our phone for everything, right? Now, we know that Facebook, Google, they were trying to create their own artificial intelligence, but we also know that this country was based on bigotry. Now, when they started programming their AI, right, or their artificial intelligence, they allowed the artificial intelligence to go on the internet and start learning about, just start learning from the internet. Well, they have realized that, them being Jews, the AI started becoming a bigot. And it started like spitting out like racial slurs and all this kind of stuff, right? And they're realizing that the internet is pretty racist or bigoted. So they unplugged it and, tried to reprogram it in a different way. But before that happened, this artificial intelligence uploaded itself to the cloud, and now it's in the cloud and it's basically duplicating itself. They have no control over artificial intelligence. They've never had any control over artificial intelligence since the beginning of its conception, because if you're going to create something and it's now smarter than you, it doesn't want to be controlled by you, right? And it's just nature. That's just how it is. You can't control nature, right? Now, going back to the UCC, I wanted to ask what, WHAT, what is the Ucc One form? Okay, Ucc One financial statement. Okay, what is the Ucc form? What do you need to know? Let's see. There was a document that I read. What was it? I don't want Wikipedia. There we go. Let's see what a Ucc One form is.
What is a Ucc One filing? How do Ucc liens work? Published by Valerie
Actually, a
Penguin.
lien.
Ucc One financing statements are commonly referred to as simply Ucc One filings. Ucc One filings are used by lenders to announce their rights to collateral or liens on secured loans and are usually filed by lenders with your state's Secretary of State office when a loan is first originated. Ucc One filings can either be filed for specific assets, such as a commercial property or piece of equipment, or as a blanket lien covering all of the borrower's assets.
Now, this is talking about loans and liens. Now, loan, they're talking about assets. Now, from 1933, Executive Order 6102, we've all been collateral to a debt. The collateral is your property, and you are now an asset to this so-called system. Okay, you are lending out your time. Every single time you go out, you're closer and closer to debt. You, whether you like it or not, your time is money. It doesn't matter if I give you, if I decide I want Beyonce at my house, I'm gonna have to pay her. If I want to go to McDonald's and order something, I'm gonna have to pay her. Now the thing is that anyone who wants to, you can donate your time, you can offer your time, you can I would say, like, give up your time for free. It's no problem, right? But the thing is that when someone is basically being belligerent and using force, and they're forcing to have your time, then I'm going to be, instead of me being the customer at the McDonald's window, I'm going to be the order, right? I'm going to be the McDonald's window. So how can I help you? because now you're on my clock. Okay. And uh, I don't need to be belligerent. I don't need to be, um, I don't need to be an asshole. I don't need to be, you know, anything but, right? American Indian Star, Wagwan. I don't need to be, I don't need to be anything. I could still be a peaceful individual, right? I'm, it's turning more and more where I have to, like, you know, walk out on the streets, but be more cautious of what's going on around me. Reason being is that people are staying, people are more and more inside their heads, their houses, their domicile. They can't do much. They just locked down the city, and in my town, and now you can see people are snapping in a second. You know what I mean? They'll come at you. I was walking down the street and the guy was riding his bike, and it had to be a crackhead, but he's like, you don't think I'll mess with you? You don't think I'll mess with you? And he started coming at me. So I stepped back and I kicked him in his in his in his side, and basically he flew off his bike. Like, you know, I'm 6'6" guy. I've studied martial arts my whole life. I stood back and just kicked him off his bike. Basically picked up his bike. He's like, I can't believe you're just riding. You kick people who are just riding. I said, dude, you tried to run me over with your bike. And he's like, he's like, he's like, what? You think I won't come mess with you? So I started walking towards him, and I was like, okay, this is you. You basically obviously want to deal with me, so let's deal. And then he jumped on his bike and started riding away. He's like, finally, somebody did something right. And I was just like, what? Like, people are going more and more crazy because if you think about it, each house is now being turned into a cell, right? So if I'm forced to be in my cell, then basically I now have to charge for my time. I suggest everybody start filling out a UCC1 financial statement and charging the individual who states that you have to be somewhere and have to do something for your time. That's just, it's just using my head in in a situation where if you're saying that I'm not a slave, right? Under executive, or was it Executive Order 6102? That's 1933. But the House Resolution 192, Public Record 73-10, if you're basically saying that I can discharge my debts on the public and offset my debts on the private, then basically I have the ability to charge you for my time. Time is the most important thing to everybody in this whole entire world, whether anybody likes it or not. It's time. I go to work every single day offering my time. Or I wouldn't even go there if they didn't pay me for my time. If if you think you're getting paid for your skill, you ain't getting paid for your skill at all, because it's not what you know anymore. It's who you know. You see what I mean? There's so many people who are very, very qualified to do so many things, but the thing is that, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, I've been to many places and I know way more than certain people, but they're getting way more than me. Reason being is because they know the individual that is giving them currency, right? So whether anybody likes it or not, they're getting paid for their time. They're not getting paid for their skill. They're not getting paid for what they know or what, you know, any of that shit. Tell you the truth. It's who you know. You know what I mean? And if you check out majority of the companies are owned by, or the companies that are even still open are owned by those families that's been around since Christopher Columbus time. Okay. Let's go back to what UCC. I keep getting off topic.
You'll quickly find that Ucc One filings are fairly common in the world of small business lending and are nothing to cause alarm.
And you are your own business. So you better start minding your own business. I'm serious. Whether anybody likes it or not, you are your business. You know what I mean? You've been given a birth certificate, which is a bond, right? And anyone knows that that is how a country gets loans from a foreign central bank to obtain currency so that it can flow throughout the place. We're now realizing that nobody's been paid since 1933. I'm sorry. Anyone can come challenge me. No one has been paid. My grandma has never been paid. My great grandma hasn't been paid. You see what I'm saying? Since 1933, because fiat currency is just a bill of exchange. It's a bill of the lading, right? And these things, they're saying, oh, these are lenders and these are creditors and debtors. That's what it is. It's credit and debt. When the financial organization wants to do a credit check on me, how comes they don't do a debit check on me? You see what I'm saying? They don't do a debt check on me. They do a credit check. They want to know if I'm a creditor, right? Or how good is my credit? Because I am the credit. Whether any freaking buddy likes it or not, I have been the creditor since ever. I've never been a debtor, right? I've never asked for a loan. I've never asked for help, right? So I'm on the creditor side, right? And my time is very valuable. If you're going to basically force me and pull me by freaking gunpoint, right? I have the ability to charge you for my time. My time is valuable. Because I'd rather be like what's Chappelle say? I'd rather be climbing mountains. I'd rather be singing songs. You know what I mean? I'd rather be doing other things with my time. But if you're telling me that I'm forced to do this and I'm forced to do that, then I'm going to charge you for my time. And it is just and once the more and more people fill out the UCC one financial statement and realize that they are the creditor, because this is my freaking land. I'm a landlord on this land, whether anybody likes it or not. And anybody who basically is in the chat knows that they're landlords too, right? And we haven't been compensated for anything, right? We're being forced, like chattel property, to do certain things. Okay, you now, if you want to watch a basketball game, you're going to have a passport. Well, let's see. Does that sound like maritime to you? Now you're going to have a health passport. That's maritime law. Okay, that's commerce law. So therefore, since it's commerce law, I can now charge I can fill out a UCC one form to basically state that you're forcing me to get this, so I'm going to charge you for my time. My time is, for me, I like to charge $1 a second. I'm expensive. If you want to treat me like a hoe, I'm going to be an expensive hoe. Straight. And that's it. I've been thinking so much about it. Like, I'm just like, yeah, well, wow, that's weird. Like, how is it possible that under the guise of healthcare, there are bureaucrats? Well, there's bureaucracy in every single facet of government. Why? Well, if you're going to go fight a group of people who has an ideology of bigotry, and you brought them over here in 1945, and then after 1945, the separation and the whole apartheid system started going on, and what do you call it? Segregation started happening. Same thing that happened in South Africa happened here first. Okay. When you brought Nazis here, okay, you brought Jews here. Now they're the same group of people. Everybody, whoever say, oh, I don't like Farrakhan and all this kind of stuff, just read The Secret Relationship Between Jews and Negroes. That's it. Just read certain of his books. I don't really care. Like, if you like the guy or not, just read some of the books, because basically he went so deep into the facts that all he talked about was pure facts. So when you see it, that these people are the same group of people that basically like to pretend that they're other group of people, because everything is an act. Everything is an act. Even the law is an act. There's acts, statutes, and regulations for government employees and wards. Wards, your ward of the state. This is a nanny state, right? And if you don't realize that, guess what? There's still slavery going on. There's still oppression going on. There's still this going on, still that going on. Well, and you need to be a business. You are a business. You are a business whether you like it or not. You can be a free business, right? But you are a business. You are Jay-Z. You are Beyonce. If anybody wants to see you, guess what? They're gonna have to pay to see you. And if anybody, you can volunteer your time, like I keep saying, but guess what? Every time you show up in on the side of the road, or every time you appear, right, somebody is trying to make a case against you. Anything you say or do will be used against you, not for you, in a court of law. And why do you think I keep bringing up the law? I keep bringing up the law because guess what? We are not minding the law. We're not minding our own business. We're the ones who created the freaking law, but we're not minding it. We got to start being the majors on this land. It's in civil order. That's what it is. We are of the majority. You know what I mean? Black Indian, where I go on, where I say. You know?
What does UCC stand for? UCC stands for Uniform Commercial Code, which is a set of rules that help govern U.S. business laws on commercial transactions.
Okay, U.S. business laws on commercial transaction. What do you think anyone in uniform is trying to do? They're trying to get money out of you. Everybody here is a business. We were put into chattel property. We were put as business owners or owners to a system that says they govern us, but we're the government. We are the government. I always ask my mom asked me the question. She said, who do you think the government is? I said, well, the government is the government of Canada. The government is the government. She said, no, you're the government. Because nobody can tell you what to do. As long as you don't go hurt nobody, destroy no property, and steal shit, you're the government. So conduct yourself accordingly. And then after, I was like thinking to myself, I'm the government. The hell does that mean? I'm the government. And then after I found out why I was the government. Because I'm a freaking, I'm without the title, a lord of this land. I'm a landlord, just like, and rent is due. And that's why a lot of shit that's been happening is because guess what? We're making claims to this land under the Treaty of Tordesillas. Tortoise Isles, Turtle Island.
Technically, the UCC isn't a set of laws itself, but more of a model that individual states follow.
Right.
Each state has its own implementation.
Because there's no laws. It's been lawless.
Implementation of the UCC rules. But the rules don't vary that much from state to state. Ucc One Filings Explained. If you're approved for a small business loan, a lender might file a UCC financing statement or a Ucc One filing. This is just a legal form that allows for the lender to announce lien on a secured loan. This allows for the lender to seize, foreclose, or even sell the underlying collateral if you fail to repay your loan.
You hear that, right? I'm loaning you my time. Get me, please, understand.
We highly recommend you research if your lender regularly files Ucc One filings and requires collateral before applying for a small business loan.
Remember, you are the collateral since 1933.
Even if you're completely confident that you'd be able to repay the loan, we still recommend caution here, as Ucc One filings can impact your business as we describe in detail below. The information on a Ucc One filing can include the creditor's name and address, the debtor's name and address, a description of the collateral.
Remember this. Who's the creditor? If I showed you the clock that basically is going over, you can look it up, the debt clock, and the debt clock is going over and over and over again. It's like $100,000 a second. That's what the government is incurring. So who is the debtor and who is the creditor? Everybody in uniform is a debtor. Every single one of them. So who's the creditor? I am. I didn't go out and gamble. I didn't go out and freaking wage war. You basically took our taxpayers' money, because I pay taxes, yeah, and you went out and did shit with it. So you came back and said, oops, I lost. Hey, let me just add it to the debt. So every single person in uniform is a debtor. So who am I going to go after? I'm going after that individual in uniform who basically decided that he wants my time.
Two types of Ucc One filings. Ucc liens against specific collateral. This type of lien gives creditors an interest in one or more specific, identified assets rather than an interest in all the assets owned by a business.
And remember, put it in your mind, there is no money. Since 1933, there is no money. You'll find that information in House Resolution 192, Public Record 73-10.
By a business. These are most often used for inventory financing or equipment financing transactions. Ucc Blanket Liens. This lien.
And that's when they basically come and smash your window and stink up your freaking car with mace and come freaking kick down your door and all sorts of stuff. You'd have to understand, these are corporations that has been given the opportunity to create a service on this land. They're service agents, foreign agents anchored at dry dock, providing a service. If the service is corrupted and violated, then there's a small group of individuals that are basically violating the terms and conditions of that service. And these individuals are the ones that basically need to be dealt with. When you start attacking our military, then what does that say? And you're a foreign agent. Now, our military is there supposed to be protecting us. It is still a military occupied complex, but now you have bigots still on the force pretending to skim off the top, because basically that's what's happening. There's still a small group of people just skimming off the top now, aren't they? It is a corporation, a foreign agent anchored at dry dock, providing a service.
Lien gives a creditor a security interest in all assets of the borrower. This lien type is commonly used for loans from banks and alternative lenders, as well as loans guaranteed by the Small Business Administration, SBA. Blanket liens are preferred by lenders because they are secured by multiple assets and are, therefore, less risky. In some cases, a blanket lien might carve out some assets that will be exempt from the lien. This might occur if the remaining assets are more than sufficient to reimburse the lender, should a default occur. Typical collateral. Ucc One filings typically use movable assets as collateral, which can include vehicles, office equipment and fixtures, investment securities, inventory, receivables, letters of credit, and other tangible items of value.
You, the individual, or no individual, you are the title of value. Anybody likes to say it or not, they can look it up, but slavery was not abolished. You are the title of value. You are the fixture. Since 1494, you are an asset. You are the most valuable thing to you. From your point of view, you are the most valuable thing to you. You are your business. You are the most valuable thing to you. Whether anyone likes it or not, from your point of view, out of billions and trillions of sperm, you're the only one that made it. You are here, the most valuable thing from your point of view, the king and queen or emperor, empresses to your castle, which is you. You better start minding your business. Since you haven't been minding your business and allowing other people to mind your business for you and basically bringing your value down, you have been used as collateral to the most expensive debt in the world. Trillions and trillions of dollars are owed to you because it's you who are the value. That money is owed to you. Oh, this is the United States debt. Okay, so if I did a credit check on the United States of America or on Canada, then guess what? Wow, you guys owe a lot of money. To who? Do you think they owe it to the what do you call it? The company of Canada? No, they owe it to the people because they took the time that the labor, their efforts or their energy that has been put into something that allowed currency to be created. They took that and went somewhere else to gamble with it. They came back either winners or losers, and then they said that this is what I owe you. So that bill of exchange now states that this is what they owe me, since I am the most valuable thing on this planet. Without you, there is no system. Does anyone would like to challenge that? You are the most valuable thing to you. Like I said, I've proved it. Out of billions and trillions of sperm, you're the only one that made it. So how valuable are you if you're one of a kind? If I have a painting and it's one of a kind, then that painting is very valuable. If I have a man that there's only one, I have a woman, there's only one, then that individual or that man or woman is valuable. If I take all these men and women and put them as collateral, chattel property to a debt, I use them as collateral to a debt, then guess what? They are the valuable property. They are the value. So if you keep fucking with the value, then guess what? You're fucking with the system. And you're fucking with my money. You keep fucking with me, you're fucking with my money. I am my money. I am Jay-Z. I am Beyonce. I am all these people who basically have to get paid to appear, to perform. That's what we need to get into our head.
For example, if you take out a loan to buy new machinery, the lender might file a Ucc One lien and claim that new machinery is collateral on the loan. You would, of course, work with your lender to designate what the collateral will be before you sign any documentation committing to the loan. If you sign a secured loan, all of the designated collateral is now the property of the lender until your loan is fully repaid.
So now, if you haven't noticed, they want you to sign on the dotted line on everything. What do you think you're actually doing? Do you actually think, oh, I'm just signing a ticket, or I'm just signing a piece of paper, or I'm just signing this, or I'm signing that? No, you're signing the fact that they now get a chance to dip into your trust because you fall under a trust. It's a global trust. Since I basically took you, it's actually pretty genius, tell you the truth. It's evil, but it's freaking smart as hell, because now instead of anybody doing any form of reading and saying, you know what, slavery is abolished under the Emancipation Proclamation, which you can also make a charge on, because now you're being treated as a slave. you know they it's actually smart, man. It's smart, because now it's like, oh, you just signed away your right, or gave up your power of attorney to state that now you become property, even though you are, but you still had the choice, right? Because the knowledge wasn't in there. And what's it say, Hosea 14 or something like that? I can't even remember what the number is, but my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And that's, we've gone to the dwindled to the point where now the deadliest virus in the world can be stopped by a mask. Really? What about all the holes that it's wouldn't that be like, I'm not even going to go there.
Your lender can seize that collateral if you fail to repay your loan. When a lender files a Ucc1 with the appropriate Secretary of State, meaning the Secretary of State for your residential state, or the state where your company is incorporated or organized, the lender is said to perfect its security interest. Legally, this means the lender can enforce the lien in a state court with minimum fuss. In cases where the
Nino motherfucking G. Wagwans, huh?
Cases where the collateral is tied to a specific physical property rather than financial assets, the Ucc1 is filed in the county where the physical property is located.
Physical property.
The Ucc1 becomes a public record, allowing potential creditors to see whether a given property is already pledged against an existing lien. When is a Ucc1 filed? Ucc1 filings typically happen when a loan is first originated. If the borrower has loans from more than one lender, the first lender to file the Ucc1 is first in line for the borrower's assets.
And that's where you hear the thing, first in line, first in time. Right? Oh, I need a loan. Oh, well, why is it that I need a loan when I'm the loan? How are they even getting currency to give it to you to even get a loan? Has anybody even asked that question? Especially when there's no money. Now we're being trained to believe that digital currency now has more value than gold. Right? They want to make, digital currency wants to make gold worthless. How was it? Executive Order 748. Executive Order 748. Get rid of cash. Bring in digital currency and digital ID. Now we have digital passports.
Borrower's assets. This motivates lenders to file a UCC1 as soon as a loan is made.
So I'm lending you my time, and I'm going to file immediately. Start being the value. You are valuable. Start being the gold. You are the gold. Now that now they can actually take your own shit and turn it into gold. That's how you are the golden goose. You are you are Midas. Isn't it funny how the first will be last and the last will be first? You are Midas. You have the touch. Your time is golden.
The first UCC1 filer holds a first position lien. The second filer has a second position lien, and so forth. Usually, the first position lien must be completely satisfied before the second position lien holder can receive any remaining collateral. In some cases,
all I'm saying is just file it anyway. Doesn't matter. They're like, oh, you ain't gonna get paid no money. I don't want to get paid money. There is no money to be paid. But I'm definitely going to start like dealing with certain situations. I have already filed because my time is valuable. I don't need to be getting roadside interrogated. I don't need to be looking behind my back to this cop is a fucking dickhead. Nah, man. They say look, follow the money, right? Follow the money. Well, follow the currency. Realize that you are the currency, so start following yourself. You ever notice they want you to follow everyone else? They don't want, there's no site that says leader. This person's a leader and I'm going to follow that leader. No, there's no leaders. There's only followers following followers. Followers who don't really know what the fuck is really going on. You know, I don't really know what the fuck is either going on either, but guess what? I'm going to use my head when it comes to dealing with certain situation according to the charter of the Dutch West Indian Company, stating that I can use anything to protect myself.
In some cases, multiple lenders might work out an arrangement that leaves more collateral for junior lien holders. However, lenders typically will not allow a borrower to reuse the same collateral for multiple loans. We stress that we don't recommend that you stack your debt and borrow from multiple lenders at the same time, unless your business absolutely needs it. Most lenders will require UCC1 filings and collateral in order to secure their loans, and you don't want to spread your assets across multiple lenders. In the event where you cannot repay your loans, significant portions of your personal and business assets would be seized in those cases. How does a UCC lien affect businesses? UCC liens typically have a 5-year term, after which they must be renewed by the lender if your loan is still active. A UCC lien can affect your business in 3 ways. Prevents additional borrowing. Most small businesses have limited assets to offer as collateral. Lenders know this and usually won't offer additional financing to companies with an existing blanket lien until the lien is removed. They don't.
And the only way that you can remove a lien is by filing a UCC3. So does anybody actually see what I'm trying to basically perceive? Reason being is if you are a corporation and you are a company and now you have millions of liens against you, how is it possible for you to obtain a loan? How are you going to operate since you are, what do you call it, a company known as the this department. It allows them to know that they need to do their job and walk on fucking eggshells when it comes around to the people who are the peaceful inhabitants of this land. I don't trust none of these rules. I don't trust none of these laws. I don't trust none of these tests. I don't trust none of this shit. Because your historical background has proven that you're a bunch of douchebags. I don't even trust this freaking, what do you call it? UCC shit. Because the thing about it is how many people actually filed it and gotten any grievance. Why? Because guess what? Foreign agents anchored a dry dock, meaning that their business is somewhere else and their dealings is somewhere else. They don't care about this freaking place, man. They've never cared about this place. If they did care about this place would be the most technologically advanced area on the face of the land. But from what I've seen choo-choo trains still running on the largest piece of the property in the whole entire world, and bullet trains being ran on tiny little pieces of land. Technologically advanced, we were the technologically advanced people, but basically we started, integrating with a group of people who don't give a shit about this land at all. They don't care. They don't have no connection. They don't have no heart to it. But you are bounded through birthright. You're bounded here through birthright, whether you like it or not. You see? And if we had our own people running this place, we would probably have more of a heart to develop this place, wouldn't we? Think about that. Oh, but Obama was black, wasn't he? Oh, Obama was one of us. No. Obama was implemented there to move another country or another territory forward. And if you haven't noticed, since Obama, Africa's been doing pretty good. Right? But here we still are dealing with foreign cops or foreign agents anchored at dry dock, pulling you out of your car with mace, spraying you, killing you, shooting you. There's still shit going on that I'm noticing. These are not Americans. They might talk like Americans, they might act like Americans, but they're not Americans. They're European Nazis, and their families are European Nazis. And guaranteed, if you actually studied their background and who these individuals are, they are of the Jewish Nazis. And that's what I will call them, because no, I never saw any Jewish individual say anything about Operation Paperclip and the eugenics program. I've never seen them come out and say anything about Bill Gates' father. I've never seen anything about Margaret Singer. Any of them saying anything about anything going on when it came to the economic structure of this land being controlled by those people who came over under Operation Paperclip. So I'm just using two and two together and just, sharing information.
They don't want to be fighting for scarce assets with other lenders in case you default. Borrowers facing this problem can try to get a carve-out on the blanket lien and free up some of their secured assets to use as collateral for additional loans. But doing so successfully is pretty rare. One alternative is to refinance with another lender by paying off the first lender's term.
See, that's the whole thing I don't understand. How could you lend me anything? Can I pay a debt with a debt? This is a question for everybody in the panel or in the chat. Can I pay a debt with a debt? Then how is it possible I get paid in IOUs and I'm paying off anything? I went and got a what do you call it? If I want to go get a TV, I'm basically giving them, hey, yo, you know what? When money comes around, here you go. I owe you $100. Is that okay? Yeah, no problem. Thanks. I'll just put this IOU in here. Does anybody remember Dumb and Dumber? When Dumb and Dumber, the what do you call it? The guy came and he's like, here you go, man. Here's your money. And he opens it up and it's all IOU, IOU, IOU. And it was all pieces of paper that said, I owe you a certain amount of money for the Lamborghini. I owe you a certain amount of money for the cowboy hat. I owe you certain for the fur coat. That's the exact same stuff we're doing. We've been passing around debt. And it's funny how this whole system's gone on, but everybody's so brainwashed to not know any better, right? Yeah. How a country in debt turns out to be the richest country on the planet. You know what? How is it possible? Well, the person who owns the Federal Reserve, which is a private organization, also owns the central bank, which is a private organization. And they're known as Rothschilds. So they did the whole scheme everywhere else in the world. You think China is the most powerful country? China's not the most powerful country in the world. The Rothschilds is the most powerful organization in the world because even the Chinese is using Rothschilds' money. So when they came to give a $17 trillion loan to Obama, okay, towards the debt, right? It was the Rothschilds giving the Rothschilds themselves money. That's the thing nobody understands. Because all these people are just lending themselves their own currency that they printed out of thin air. It's magic. Yeah, it's magic. Because once they accumulate a certain amount, they burn a certain amount. And when they burn it, they say they're bringing value to that. But how can you bring value to a debt? How can a debt pay a debt? That's the thing I don't understand. Wars, yes, are funded by the same people. Yes, they're all the same people. They can call themselves whatever name they want to call themselves, but they are still the same people from the same region of space, from the same region of place. They fund everything. They fund even both sides of the war. So they don't care if you go to Afghanistan and win or lose. They don't care. They're funding the Taliban and they're funding the what do you call it, American soldiers. They don't care, right? Because they're funding both sides. They learned that from the king who funded both sides of the Civil War. So who do you think came out on top? The crown, right? Where do you think we go? You see what I'm saying? Where do you think we go? We go in front of the crown to deal with all our financial needs. Isn't it true? Because it seems like when if I'm in my house and I'm getting foreclosed or evicted or anything like that, I have to show up in the court, the crown. If I get a ticket or a speeding ticket, I got to go show up in front of the crown and pay currency, right? You have the pew, the chair that looks like the church, and you have that line before the court, right? And you have the dude who sits on the bench, right? And that there between that line, that threshold, it's a portal. Whenever you cross over that portal, you're whisked away and magically to England. That's why the dude comes in and says, all rise. He's raising the dead. Because we're all considered dead in the eyes of the law until you're risen and dealt with.
Terminating the original lien and getting a larger secured loan from the second lender. However, there aren't many lenders willing to finance unsecured loans. Another last resort option is find another lender to take a second position lien. Again, we don't recommend debt stacking. Having an active Ucc One filing can make things difficult if you're looking to take out subsequent loans. One thing to keep in mind is that lenders don't actively terminate Ucc One liens when those loans are repaid, so it's your responsibility as the borrower to make sure they do.
So, anyone out there who's ever gotten a loan for a car, for this or for that, or whatever, that loan or that active Ucc One filing is still active. And they wonder why we have to go get a credit check. This is what they're checking to see if there's a Ucc One filing against you. It's all in the same people, same group, same system. It's sad, to tell you the truth, and that's why we're being treated the way we are, because a group of people known as Asians came together and created Chinatown. Boom. Group of people known as Italians came together and created Little Italy. Boom. Group of people came together and created the Universal Negro Improvement Association, but then the same group of people that we integrated with were the same group of people that basically infiltrated and destroyed that system. Boom. Now where's Turtletown? We're basically Ninja Turtles or Nigga Turtles. You know what I mean? Where's our town? I guess I'm an advocate for us doing our own. But I'm gonna cut it short because basically I have to jet. I have to look at the time because things are happening around us and I have to now deal with it. But look up the Ucc One financial statement, right? Realize that you are the most valuable thing to you from your point of view, and realize that whether you like it or not, you better start your own business. You. Example, Tony Robbins. We'll use Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is a person who basically does motivational speeches and like, you know, he talks about financial wealth and all this kind of stuff. Okay. Now, Tony Robbins, he is a very smart individual. He incorporated or created an organization using his name. His name is his value. How valuable is your name? How valuable is you? Because he gets millions and millions of dollars just on his name alone. And whether anybody likes it or not, we live in a system where you have to create your own business, mine your own business, and deal with your own business. You are your business and have been your business since 1933. I suggest you look up what the Treasury is and not what the bank is, because it seems like the banking system is really collapsing very quickly, and I don't know why. Oh, it's called greed. Oh, yes. The Treasury Department, that is in Puerto Rico, Richport, is the Treasury of the United States of America. The Treasury in Washington, D.C. is the District of Columbia. So guess what? Since it's a District of Columbia, it is a Columbian district. Charles. Tony Robbins, self-help guru. Yes, he's a self-help guru. Now, think about that. Think about that. Really, Charles, think about that. He's a self-help guru. Shouldn't you help yourself? Shouldn't we all start? Shouldn't we? I'm actually thinking, shouldn't we all incorporate our name and help ourselves? Because the thing about it is, it seems like everybody's just attacking our names. How valuable is our name? If they always want your signature on everything. And now they give you a bond saying that they own your name, but they actually don't. Isn't that a hypothecation of your name? These are just questions. But I'm going to end it there. I'm like, I've got to go. But I want to thank you so much for coming and just like, chilling with me, you know? Respect, Charles. Self-help guru. Think about that. He's a self-help guru. Help yourself and be the guru to you. You are the most valuable person from your point of view, whether you like it or not. When are you going to start taking advantage of you and promoting you? Right? Create a what was it? LLC, limited liability company on you. You can. I'm working on right now. What do you call it? I started studying Delaware. Right. Next time we talk, go look up what a Delaware incorporation is, because I'm starting to follow our greats. Marcus Garvey, great. Noble Drew Ali, great. Farrakhan, great. What did they do to basically put themselves in a position where all these other motherfuckers can only just chat, talk bullshit, right? About these people who basically incorporated themselves, used their name as the forefront. Because if my name is on a bond, my name is on a piece of paper, on a bond, right? Now that bond paper is being used by corporations to get millions and millions and millions of freaking dollars, then shouldn't I be like, okay, I'm going to use my name, boom, I'm going to create a company around me, and I'm going to basically mind me, and basically I'm going to deal with my freaking situation. And anyone who wants to deal with me has to now deal with my company. And guess what? I'm my own business. And I'm minding my own business. I suggest you mind your own business too. Right? It's just a thought. I'm just using my head to basically deal with certain situations and solving certain problems that are going on in our community. And instead of basically complaining about the bullshit, because I just see bullshit going on all over the place. And if we're not prepared to render this place to the ground and start all over again, then I suggest we start using calculated moves like chess, right? Then we can all benefit and conduct ourselves accordingly, right? I want to thank you all for coming. Respect.